Hello, I am Sophie. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a video I thought would just be silly, fun. I don't know. Today we will be talking about my writing essentials, aka my favorite tools to use in my writing process. I want to say off the bat as well, I apologize for the weird lighting and I've got shadows over here and everything. It has been on and off raining all day, which is very strange, and it is extremely overcast and the lighting sucks, so I had to come up with my own lighting, and this is what it looks like. So sorry, but let's begin. So of course the first top dog tool that's like the most important is the laptop. Ooh, it currently has my script on screen, so don't look at that, but this is my laptop. But of course this is the most important thing for writing. I'm sure I don't have to sell you on why. But more specifically, I use a program on my laptop called Papyrus Author. I love the program. I love how it organizes chapters. I love how you can organize little notes to yourself, world building, brainstorming, everything. Everything you need for your project you can put in this program, and that's amazing. But story time. Papyrus Author used to be a free program. You could use the free version. It wouldn't have all of the features that the paid version had, but you could still use it for free. And that was great, and that's how I used it. Because all I really needed was the drafting part of the program, which was in the free part. So I was using that. I used that for a while. I've used it since early last year, so probably for at least a year I've been using the free version. Well, lo and behold, Papyrus comes out with a new version of this program. It's like an updated, upgraded version, yes. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Good for them. I saw the price originally for it and I was like, I'm not paying that, even though it's going to be a one-time purchase instead of a monthly subscription. I was like, I don't need all the features, I'm just gonna use the free version. Well, flashback to about a month ago, I tried to open the program to start working on Project Glass because I had been handwriting Project Glass and it was coming up to the time where I needed to start typing it up. So I go to open the program again and a little pop-up window shows up telling me that I need the updated version because my version is outdated. That's not great because Project Glass and the entire Project Star trilogy is stuck on this program, and I cannot even open the documents that have them in it because they are Papyrus Author specific files. So that's great. Now I'm trapped between never having these projects again and paying $300 for the full version of the new Papyrus Author program. Yay, that's awesome. In the end, I ended up getting the full version because my mom, thank you Mom, ended up paying for it, which was a miracle. So there was a little bit of panic there in between not having the program and having my mom pay for it. Thank you Mom. Where I was like, oh my god, 4 of my books no longer exist. I've got to start over. So I used to recommend this program to everyone that asked because it was free and that was great because anyone could try it. And that is no longer the case. I don't know if you can still get a free trial. It would be weird if you couldn't get a free trial, but $300 is a lot to shell out for a program, a writing program. So I do still use Papyrus Author. I enjoy Papyrus Author still, but I cannot in good conscience tell other people to also go pay $300 for this. That is my laptop, that is Papyrus Author, that is the writing program I use. So if you've ever been interested in like, oh, what is on my screen all the time in the writing vlogs, it is Papyrus Author. $300 in the hole, but at least I have my projects back. A win is a win. Anyways, moving on. My second most important, I don't think these are really ranked in importance, but the second thing I have on my list is notebooks. I have my props over here. One second. Notebooks. There are 2 different reasons why I use them. One is as project notebooks, which is this one. This is the project notebook for Project What. It has been through a lot. I've been using this notebook for 5 years, 6 years, 5 or 6 years, and it's a mess. But she's holding on, and I love her for that. If you want an in-depth view of my project notebook, I have a video about it where I kind of go through how Project What evolved as a story. That's what this is. And this is really the only project I really have a project notebook for, which is really weird because I used to have one for every project I have. But like Project Glass never really needed a notebook. It's like such a streamlined story that there wasn't much of this going on. And Project Star is so new that it does have a project notebook. This is my Project Star case. There are technically project notebooks for every book in the trilogy. 1, 2, and 3. But they're so new that there's not much in here. Like, there's just a little bit of brainstorming for each notebook. So Project What is really the only, like, project notebook I have now. Everything else, I guess, doesn't need one. I don't know what happened. But the second reason why I use notebooks and why there were so many is because of handwriting. Yay! As you guys are probably aware, I am a big proponent of handwriting your novels. It's so much fun. It's so great. I love it so much. When I handwrite, because it's really just a feeling. Like if I don't think the words are coming out on the computer very well, I'll move to handwriting. But I always try to start on the computer because that's more convenient, that's easier. I don't have to go back after finishing the novel and finish the novel again by typing it all up. But if I am on the computer and I realize, hey, this writing kind of sucks, and it would be a lot better if I handwrote it, that's when I switch. Like Project Glass, it's only 2/3 of the way through the book that I realize I don't like writing on the computer anymore, and I switch to handwriting. Other ones, like Project Moss here, I realized from the get-go I needed to handwrite it. So I did. The whole book, the entire novel is in these 2 notebooks. Crazy to think about, but it's true. And as you can probably tell, I like to keep my notebooks consistent when I'm writing the book. It's nice visually because the entire book is in one kind of notebook. It doesn't look like jumbled and weird. And also, it's nice to stack up together. I wouldn't want notebooks that are like 4 different sizes for the book because that's just, why would you do that? No. So Project Moss, we're in these Daily Chirps notebooks from Target. I used 1.5, so a little over a half in this second one, but this is all of Project Moss right here. I have a third notebook like this for snippets between the chapters because that's just a part of the style for Project What is there's smaller bits of information in between chapters, but I haven't written a lot in that. But this is Project Moss. This, of course, is Project Glass. This is just the last 5 chapters of the book, I think. I just finished this book. You can go watch me finish it up there. Yeah, all 3 of the same notebook. A little damaged. Got a sticker on this one. But, you know, consistency. Beautiful. They're all the same notebook. Love it. And also, Project Glass. I had handwritten the first draft of the book as well, and I used little baby notebooks because this book was extremely short, so little notebooks could be used. Once again, you get all the same notebook. There's 5 here, all the same. And this brand, Campus, is my favorite to write on. Here they are again, for both Project Glass drafts, I guess, or just like any style of notebook like this, because one, at least specifically for this brand, the pages are super smooth, so it's great to write on, especially like writing super fast. It just feels amazing. And 2, any style of notebook like this where it has like the spine, like a flat spine like this, not like a composition notebook, and also not a spiral notebook. Evil spiral notebooks. No, this one lays flat like a spiral notebook without the spirals, and you know, you don't have to fight the spine like on a composition, so that's great. Even this notebook too, like it has that journal spine, so it can lay flat without fighting you or getting a nettle coil dug into your hand. Like, my left-handed people understand. But like these still lay flat. That's great. I love it. So any notebook with like a flat spine, or specifically campus notebooks, amazing. Notebook rant over. Next, another favorite. If you've been on this channel before, you've seen them dozens of times, but they are index cards. I love me an index card. Specifically colored index cards. Though that is where it's at. I do use white as well because like not everything needs to be color coded, but colored index cards plus white index cards are a must, specifically for outlining. Let me see, where's an outline? Here's the outline for book 3 of Project Star. As you can see, very colorful, very fun, very thick, lots of detail. I have the 2 others for the rest of the trilogy in this little guy. They're clipped to the side of this bag, but there they are. There's book 1 and book 2. And this here is my key to the cards. From project to project, the meaning of the color of each card changes to fit the context, because sometimes stories need more of one thing than another. It wouldn't make sense to try and fit them all in the same box, so I gotta make a key before I start outlining to make sure everything stays on track. So that is the one for Project Star. And then Project Glass is right here in this little bag because it would not fit in the clip. It was so chunky. Here's this one, ginormous, where Project Star was split into more of like world building. Like this is like species and this is locations, and this one's literally just miscellaneous world building. Like this was very world heavy. This one, Project Glass, is extremely character heavy, where my 2 main characters each have their own colored card. So this is the older sister here, and this is the younger sister. They both had their own card colors because in this book, them as people themselves is extremely important to the plot, where in a galaxy-wide sci-fi, we need a little more information on the planets that we visit and the aliens we encounter and all that kind of stuff. So the meaning of each color changes, but I do need to separate the meaning of each color into a key, because when I spread the outline out, like over at my table or something, those colors give me a visual cue of what's happening throughout the story, what kind of emotions are being felt, what kind of events are happening, so I can make sure that they're spread out correctly or that we follow the right arcs. Makes it a lot easier if you can just look at the colors and see where different things are at, instead of like having to reread over and over and over and over and then try and organize it that way. It's just easier. It's quicker. I love color coding. And also, just bonus, it looks really cool. When it's all stacked up and you can like fan it out like I just did, very cool, very fun, feels very official. Next might be a weird one, slightly. Don't hit me up. But I need these, okay? These are an essential. It is these specific pens. I took one of these pens from my mom's job one day to, I think I was studying for like a math final or something, and I needed to just write something down. And I loved how the pen wrote. It's so nice. I'm sure you've seen it in literally every writing vlog I've ever made, at least after probably like 2022, 2023. I use them to write this one. I use them to write this one. And I'm pretty sure I used it to write the first draft of Project Glass as well. Not sure, might have been a different pen. I use it for everything. Not just handwriting, but schoolwork, notes, journaling, revision. Like, anytime I need to write something down in black ink, it is one of these pens. I use them so much, in fact, that I have probably gone through 3 boxes of these already. They're the best. I love them. One drawback is the fact that they are the least waterproof pens I've ever worked with. You get 1 drop of water on your book and there's a gray puddle. It is scary. It is dangerous. You gotta be very careful when you use them. I just talked about in my most recent vlog how I can't go a single project without getting water damage on them, and that is extremely true, and it makes reading what I wrote a little more difficult. It's where like maybe my water bottle spilled in my bag and then like pooled at the bottom and then we get soaked up into the paper, and like the bottom edge of the page is just unreadable. So great pens, they write great, but you gotta be real careful if you're putting them around water because they'll die. It'll just die and you'll never know what you wrote. But I still use them for everything, so I'm willing to take that risk, I guess. Now, we're on to some more fun, vague things. Specifically, we're gonna start with music. We need music, okay? We need music to write. That's just, like, come on. I have 3 methods of listening to music. First is here, of course. I use YouTube Music because I also have YouTube Premium and it comes with YouTube Music. So I use this to listen to most music when I want to listen to it, sure. But specifically if I want to stay off my phone and I don't want any excuse to even open my phone, I will use this little guy. It is a pocket radio. It's so cute. And I have it tuned to a local community radio. So there's no ads. And they play good like indie music. And it's good stuff. So when I, 1, don't want to be on my phone, or 2, don't feel like picking out what music to listen to, I'll listen to this. It's amazing. I'm glad I bought this. It was like 10 bucks. Very, very useful. I do also have a CD player that's plugged into my wall, so I'm not bringing it over here. I use that too if I kind of want to pick what I want to listen to because, you know, it just plays the whole album. Love that too. I have been using this a lot though. And lastly, probably the most abstract one of this entire video is my camera. You guys, hi. I'm sure you guys are aware, but I make writing content on YouTube. That requires a camera. Well, doesn't require a camera. You could use my phone, but it requires something to take videos on, and I use a camera. I can show you using this. Hold on. There's you guys. Oh my goodness. And my messy apartment is fine. So here it is. It's a Sony something. Sony Alpha? I don't know. It's one of my dad's old cameras. He gave it to me and I've used it ever since. I can't remember when I got this camera specifically because I used to have another one from my dad as well, and then he gave me this one because he upgraded, so I got the one that he used to use. And this one's just slightly smaller, lighter, more compact than the one that I had before. So this one's easier to just haul around. It's great. I don't have any fancy lenses or anything because I don't really do photography, but the little like pancake lens that I have on here is great for what I need. Basic photos, basic videos, for vlogging. We're not trying to make a feature film here, and the video quality is miles better than what I can get off my phone because for some reason iPhone like color grades your videos to make them look really ugly. They're like super washed out, super like pale and blurry and weird, and I don't know how to turn that off. If any of you guys know what the problem is and why it does that, please let me know. But every time I film on my phone, it looks so washed out and nasty compared to what I film on my camera. But that's why I love the camera. Looks a lot better. Yay. Anyways, that is it from me. Those are my writing essentials, my writing tools. I'm sure if you guys have been here before, you guys are very aware of all of these things that I mentioned, but I thought I'd put it all in one video, bring it all together like a big old family. But let me know what your favorite writing tools are. Maybe you got some like weird ones. Maybe you got really specific ones like my pens that I use for everything. Let me know. Let me know all your biggest writing tool hacks and secrets in the comments. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.